There's a moment that can feel unsettling. If you've always been the one who feels deeply, you notice it one day in a small way. Someone shares something emotional. Instead of feeling pulled in, your body stays flat. No surge of care, no ache, no overwhelm either. Just nothing. And a quiet thought appears that you might not say out loud, why don't I feel anything anymore? If that thought has crossed your mind, let me say this gently. You are not broken. You are not becoming cold. And you are not losing your empathy. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this numbness shows up so suddenly, what it's actually protecting you from, and what to do next so you don't get stuck here. There are two things we need to look at together. One is why empaths often swing from feeling everything to feeling nothing at all. And the other is the exact internal shift that allows feeling to return without overwhelming you. We'll get there. And here's the part most people never explain. For empaths, numbness is rarely the absence of emotion. It's the result of emotional overload without enough safety. When your nervous system has been absorbing, attuning, holding, and understanding for a very long time, it eventually chooses a different strategy. Instead of feeling more, it feels less. Not as a failure, but as protection. Picture a moment you may recognize. Someone you care about is upset. Normally, their emotions would land in your body immediately. Your chest would tighten. Your mind would search for the right words. This time you listen, but nothing moves inside. And afterward, instead of relief, you feel uneasy. You wonder if something essential in you is shut off. Listen closely here. Numbness is not indifference. It's a nervous system boundary that arrived late. It's your body saying, I can't keep carrying this level of emotional weight and stay intact. And if you learned early that connection depended on being emotionally available, this shutdown can feel terrifying. Because feeling deeply was never just something you did, it was who you were. Here's a reframe that often brings a wave of relief. Feeling nothing is not the opposite of being empathic. It's what happens when empathy runs without limits for too long. Eventually, the system pulls the emergency brake. And here's the part no one tells you. That brake isn't permanent, but it only releases when the body senses safety. So why does this seem to happen all at once? Usually it hasn't been sudden at all. It's cumulative. It's the years of being the listener, the understanding one, the emotionally steady one. It's the times you noticed you were tired but kept going anyway, the moments you minimized your own needs because someone else's pain felt more urgent. Eventually, the body decides it can't keep up that pace. And this is important. You didn't choose numbness. Your nervous system chose survival. I want you to notice something right now. Are you more afraid of the numbness itself or of what you think it says about you? Many empathic women quietly fear that numbness means they've lost their softness, their depth, their capacity to love. In reality, it usually means that softness wasn't being protected. Here's a gentle interruption to the story you might be telling yourself. You do not need to force yourself to feel again. Forcing emotion often pushes the system further into shutdown. What restores feeling is safety, pacing, and choice. And that changes how we approach this entirely. In daily life, this numbness can show up in subtle ways. You don't react the way you used to. Things that once moved you deeply barely register. You may feel distant in relationships, even with people you care about. And underneath it all, there's often a layer of guilt, like you're failing at being the person you used to be. But here's the truth beneath that guilt. The version of you who felt everything didn't have enough support. There's a simple sentence I want to offer you, something you can say quietly to yourself when numbness appears. This isn't me disappearing. This is me protecting myself. That reframe matters because meaning shapes how your body responds. Take a slow breath in through your nose and let it out a little longer than you inhaled. Notice that right now, no one needs anything from you. Even this small moment of permission is part of what allows sensation to return. Feeling comes back when your system trusts that it won't be flooded again. That trust grows through boundaries, through limits, through learning that you can stay connected without self-abandonment. And I know that idea can bring up fear. We're going to talk about that directly. Before we move on, let me ask you a few quiet questions to sit with. When was the last time you felt emotionally safe enough to fully relax? Who in your life knows how to hold space for you without taking from you? What do you usually do when your body signals that it's tired? And what if numbness isn't the enemy, but a message asking for care? Just notice what comes up. You don't need answers yet. When you're ready, say continue and we'll move into the next part together. If numbness is a message, the next question becomes this: what is it asking for? And most of the time, the answer is not more effort or more self-analysis. It's asking for safety. The kind of safety your body can actually feel, not just understand. Let's start with a simple reset you can do today. This takes about 1 minute, And it's not about forcing emotion to come back. It's about letting your system know it can soften without being overwhelmed. Sit or stand in a way that feels supported. Let your shoulders drop a little. Take a slow breath in through your nose, and as you breathe out, gently press your feet into the ground or your body into the chair. As you exhale, say quietly inside, I don't have to carry anyone right now. Do that 3 times. Breath in, breath out, gentle pressure, and that inner sentence. This works because breath calms the nervous system, the body cue creates grounding, and the words give your system permission. Many women notice that sensation doesn't rush back, but something shifts. A little warmth, a little presence. That's enough to begin. Now let's talk about something that often brings numbness back again after it starts to lift. Guilt, especially when you change how available you are. When people notice you're quieter, less responsive, less emotionally available, they may comment. And this is where many empaths panic and over-explain. Instead, you can keep it simple and regulated. One sentence you can use is, I'm taking better care of my energy right now. You don't owe anyone more than that. Another option, especially if someone is asking for more than you can give, is I care about you and I can't hold this right now. And if you need time before responding at all, it's enough to say, let me sit with this and get back to you. These aren't walls. They're signals of self-respect. And the more you use them, the safer your system feels. Here's something important to understand. Feeling doesn't return all at once. It comes back in waves. You might notice brief moments of tenderness followed by a return to flatness. That's not failure. That's your nervous system testing the water. Each time you don't push, don't judge, and don't overgive, you're teaching it that feeling doesn't have to lead to flooding. There's another pattern I want to name gently. Some empaths confuse numbness with healing. They think maybe this is what being strong feels like now. But true healing doesn't make you smaller or disconnected. It gives you access to feeling with choice. You can feel and still say no. You can care without collapsing. And that's where we're heading. Let's pause for self-check. Ask yourself quietly, do I feel safer or more tense around certain people lately? What happens in my body when someone needs something from me? Am I mistaking emotional distance for peace? And what would it look like to let feeling return slowly instead of all at once? These questions aren't meant to pressure you. They're meant to bring curiosity where there's been fear. One of the most counterintuitive parts of this process is this. You don't heal numbness by chasing emotion. You heal it by protecting your capacity to feel. That means fewer explanations, shorter responses, more rest than you think you need, and allowing yourself to disappoint others a little so you don't keep abandoning yourself a lot. If there's one thing I want you to take with you, it's this. Your empathy didn't disappear. It went underground to recover. And it will come back in a form that doesn't cost you your health or your sense of self. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to need less. You're allowed to feel again on your own terms. And that isn't a loss, it's integration. Let this land. There's nothing wrong with you. There never was. In the next video, we'll talk about what happens when empaths start setting boundaries and others don't like it, and how to stay grounded without explaining or apologizing.